So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a very popular soft drink, and the reason that we use this clear Sprite is that so that way you can see the reaction that we're going to have with this pH testing solution, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to pour some Sprite in here, as so. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take also a very popular soft drink, and again we use a clear liquid so that way you can see how this thing tests out. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a product that Coca-Cola makes. This is a reverse osmosis water, and you'll want to pay attention to what happens as we test this water. And alongside Dasani is its counterpart made by Pepsi, which is Aquafina. Again, this is a reverse osmosis water. And we're not here to just pick on Aquafina or Dasani. This actually applies to any reverse osmosis water. Right next to it, we've got our Kangen water, which is the 9.5, and this is the water that we're going to be drinking. And over here on the end is the tap water here. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this pH testing solution and we're going to put 4 drops in each of these liquids, and what we're looking to do is match some colors here. Okay, and again, we want to be on the alkaline side, meaning that we're looking for a dark blue or a purple color instead of an orange or a yellow. So let's just go ahead and see what happens. So we're going to put 4 drops in each. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now let's just go ahead and give each of these a stir, and let's just look and see what happens. And here's our Sprite. Here's our Gatorade. Here's Dasani. Here's Aquafina. Here's the Kangen water. And here's your tap water. Now, as you can see, the Sprite and the Gatorade, rather, they're on the orange side, and this is pretty much as acidic as you can get. Alongside of it are Dasani and Aquafina, your reverse osmosis waters, and as we can see here, they're also yellow, meaning that they are acidic. The reason that they're acidic is reverse osmosis water actually pulls out everything out of the water, including the minerals. And when you don't have minerals in the water, you're going to get an acidic water. As a matter of fact, the Japanese refer to reverse osmosis water as dead water. And along here, you can see our Kangen water, and it's not because of the bottle here. As you can see, it's the bright purple that we're looking for, and this is the 9.5. This is what you're looking for. This is what you want to hydrate your body with. And right next to it is your tap water. And by federal mandates, most municipal waters are on the neutral side. But before you get too excited, keep in mind they use lye, which is something that's very caustic, to bring the water from a very acidic state to a neutral state. Now, that's just half of the equation. What we want to do now is we want to talk about that oxidation reduction potential characteristic of these liquids that we talked about in our earlier presentation. So what we've got here is a meter that's just designed to kind of give us a benchmark in terms of where these liquids actually end up on the scale. And also keep in mind, the higher the oxidation reduction potential number is on the positive side, the more oxidizing effect that liquid will have. Now, on the flip side, if there's a negative number, the higher that negative number, the more anti-aging, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory properties that water will have. So let's go ahead and test these liquids and just see what happens. Now, as you can see, what we're doing is the first thing that we're testing here is the Sprite, and you can see the number is approaching 400 on the positive side, which means it has a very oxidizing effect on you. Now, I do a lot of work with naturopathic doctors and holistic doctors, and they all really caution the overconsumption of soda. Right next to the Sprite, as you can see, is the Gatorade. And what we're going to do here is we're going to check and see what the ORP value of Gatorade is. And as you can see, it's well over 400. Now, next to Gatorade is our Dasani. And keep in mind, this is a reverse osmosis water. And as you can see, this liquid also is right in the 400 range. And again, it's positive. And let's just see what happens with Aquafina. And again, here we're right in the 400 range. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually come back to the Kangen water at the end, but I just want you to see where your tap water typically is. And the tap water also is right in the upper 300s, just under 400, as you can all see. Now, the last liquid that we're going to test here is our Kangen water, and as you can see, of all the liquids that we've tested here, this is the only liquid that has a negative oxidation reduction potential value, and as you can see here, it's right about a negative 300, and that's very, very important. As a matter of fact, if you remember the picture from Mr. Oshiro and how young he looks for his age, my belief is that he does that because of this property of the water. The negative oxidation characteristic potential of this water is absolutely crucial. Now, what we want to do is also show you something very interesting. What we're going to do here is we're going to show you is instead of using drugs or over-the-counter medications to neutralize acid, keep in mind, we're looking for a dark blue or a purple color. I'm going to show you something very interesting with our Kangen water. And we're going to start here with the municipal water. And as you can see here, this is a neutral water, but just by pouring a little bit out of Kangen water on top of here, as you can see, we've just neutralized that, or we've taken that water from a neutral state to an alkaline state. Now, here's the same situation that we're going to do now with Aquafina. And just keep in mind, we're pouring just a little bit of water, and we've taken it from an acidic state to an alkaline state. And here you'll find the same case with Dasani. Now, what's interesting here is you're going to find out here with Gatorade, that's not quite the case. As a matter of fact, you need about 25 glasses of water, of this water, to neutralize 1 glass of Gatorade. Same thing for Sprite. Look at here. And as you can see, none of that acidity has been neutralized, okay? With Sprite or with any soda, they're finding it's a 32-to-1 ratio, meaning you need 32 glasses of this water to neutralize 1 glass of soda. And just to put that into perspective, I mean, if you think about the fact that cancer is running at an all-time high. As a matter of fact, it's the leading killer in this country, and when you've got too much acid in your body, it can lead to cancer down the road. So we want to avoid things like soft drinks, too many soft drinks, or too much Gatorade, or too much reverse osmosis water, because it just has a negative effect on you. Now, let me just share with you one other thing. We've got these alkaline states. Watch what happens when I mix a little bit of soda. Right away, as you can see, it takes it from an alkaline state right back to a acidic state. So it's very, very important that we stay away from too much acidity. All right, now the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to actually do what we call a chlorine test. We're going to actually take ordinary tap water and determine whether or not there's chlorine, and we're going to do the same thing with our Kangen water. So over here in this picture is tap water. Okay? And over here we're going to take our Kangen water, the 9.5 drinking water. And then what we're going to do is we're going to actually take this chlorine testing solution, and we're going to put 4 drops of this solution in each of these waters. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, we're going to give this thing a nice little stir here. And here. Now over here on the bottom of our chart is our chlorine indicator. And what you're looking for is you want a clear color, because you don't want chlorine in your water. We're going to come back and talk about that. And as you can see in the tap water here, it's a bright yellow, indicating that there is a fair amount of chlorine in this water. And as we are on this subject, I want you guys to think about, what do we do, as an example, when we take a shower or a bath? 10, 15-minute shower or bath. What's happening there is that's the equivalent of drinking 8 tall glasses of this water. I mean, if you think about it, as you're bathing, you're opening up the pores of the largest organ in your body, that being the skin, and what happens over the course of that 10, 15-minute shower or the bath is the fact that you're actually absorbing anywhere from 8 to 10 glasses of this water in your skin. Now, on that note also, think about what do we do when we bring vegetables home. We bring our vegetables home, and what we want to do is we want to wash them. We want to get rid of all the herbicides and the pesticides and the insecticides. Well, let me take you through a quick little demonstration so you can see actually what we're doing. This is an onion right here. What we're going to do is we're going to peel this onion and just pretend that we're actually preparing it for either a salad or, say, an omelet. And we're going to cut this onion up here. And we're going to actually put it, and keep in mind, remember the color of this water. Remember that yellow color. So here we go. We're washing our onion, right? And again, the reason we want to wash it, we want to take the sting out of there, and we want to remove the herbicides and the pesticides. And keep in mind, that onion was in that water for a few seconds only. Now watch what happens here. Remember that yellow color? Well, let me ask you this. What happened to the chlorine? I mean, if you really think about it, we didn't clean the onion, we actually cleaned the water. All that chlorine that was in this water is now absorbed in this onion. Okay, and this applies for any produce, be it, fruits or vegetables. So this is something that you want to stay away from. Now, I was in the swimming pool business for 7 years. I'm very familiar with chlorine, and chlorine is something that you do not want in your tap water to bathe with or to wash produce with, let alone to drink with. Okay? Okay, what I'd like to do right now is actually show you one of our other waters, that being the strong Kangen water that has a pH of 11.5, so you can see the amazing cleaning powers that this water actually carries with it. And to demonstrate that, what we've got here is we've got some fresh cherry tomatoes that we actually just bought here at the Giant supermarket. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually do a quick demonstration where we're going to take some tomatoes and put it in this cup here. We're going to do the same alongside this cup. Now, instead of using the tap water and all the chlorine in there, we're just going to take a reverse osmosis water. And keep in mind, this water is going in clean, and it'll be interesting to see how it comes out after a few minutes. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take some of our Kangen water, the strong water that has the pH of 11.5, and that's what's inside of this container. And just to demonstrate that there's nothing in here but water, let me just pour some in this cup here so that you can see for yourself. And this is the water that has the pH of 11.5. In other words, it has some amazing cleaning powers. And we're going to come back to this here in just a few seconds. Now, as that's sitting in there, let me just give it a quick stir. Okay, now while that's in there cleaning, what we're going to do in the meantime is we're going to actually show you another demonstration with green tea. This is a very good Japanese green tea, and green tea is good for you. It's got some amazing antioxidant properties, but what we want to do is we want to show you the solvency properties of Kangen water. And now typically to make green tea or any kind of tea, you need obviously a tea bag. You need some boiling water, and what it typically has to happen is that tea bag has to steep for a couple, 2-3 minutes. So we don't have hot water today, but what we're going to do is we're going to take room temperature water. We're going to take tap water, or bottled water for that matter, and then we're going to take some of our 9.5 Kangen water. Now let's just see what happens. So over here, let's go ahead and we're going to use some reverse osmosis water, some Aquafina water. And we're going to give this tea bag a nice head start. Give that a nice head start there. Now alongside of that tea bag is also another cup, and except here we're going to pour the Kangen water, the 9.5, and this is the water that you're going to drink. And as you can see, almost instantly, as soon as this water hits this tea bag, you can see the solvency properties of this water. Okay? Not only, does it turn a dark color here, but you actually can taste the green tea. And what's remarkable here is off of one tea bag, we can actually make as many as 8 to 10 cups of tea off of one tea bag. Also, this brings to mind the solvency properties of the water. As I talked to you about the machine earlier, we mentioned the fact that if you're taking medications, you don't want to take your medications with this water because it has the ability to get those medications into your bloodstream much quicker. So you'd want to refrain from that water and take your medications with clean water. However, if you're taking nutritional supplements, you definitely want to take your nutritional supplements with this water because it has the tendency to get those nutritional products into your bloodstream and into your system much faster. In other words, it's going to make it much more bioavailable, so you're going to get much more benefit from your nutritional supplements, okay? Now, let me just show you real quick here what could happen. We're going to take this tea bag here, a used tea bag, and I want to just demonstrate for you what's going to happen. And just keep in mind, as soon as this water hits the tea bag, as you can see, we've just made another cup of tea. Now, back home, what we do is we take one tea bag, we put it in a carafe with about a quart's worth of water, and we can make tea all day long off of one tea bag. Now, let me just take you through it one more time, and I think you'll get the point here. And again, keep in mind, from the moment this water hits this tea bag, and remember, this is already our third cup of tea here, and let's just look and see what our competition is doing over here. This guy, as you can see, hasn't even started yet. I think he's quite confused, whereas this cup here is already turned gold. And again, you can actually taste the contents of what's in that cup there. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to come back to the cherry tomatoes. And over here again, this is the water that we actually poured, the cup that we poured the Aquafina in. And let's just take a look at what happens. And keep in mind, the water went in clear, and let's just see what actually happens. As you can see, the water is coming out clear. So in reality, did we take anything or remove anything from these tomatoes? And I think we'd all agree the answer is no. Now, on the flip side of that, over here are the same cherry tomatoes out of the same bag, and the only difference being is we washed or we soaked these tomatoes with strong Kangen water, the water again that has the pH of 11.5. Now let's look to see what actually comes off of these tomatoes. Now, this is pretty amazing, okay? And this is not chlorine. Remember, our machines remove all the chlorine from the water. What you got here are things like herbicides, pesticides, insecticides, and even oxidation that's coming off of these tomatoes. And the significance of that is now you've got produce, fruits, and vegetables that actually taste like they were grown in your very own garden without the herbicides and the pesticides. As a matter of fact, this is probably as close to organic as you can come. And so they taste much better, and actually when you wash your produce, wash your fruits and your vegetables with this water, it will actually last you many, many days longer than if you were to wash it with tap water. What we like to do here is we also wanted to show you a little simple demonstration with rice. And again, keep in mind, one of the benefits of Kangen water is the fact that you can actually cook with it as well. So let's look to see what happens. We're going to take tap water here, and we're going to take some rice, and we're going to give this a stir and see what happens. And as you can see, we've got a little cloudiness in the water, so we're removing a little bit of stuff from the rice. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take the same rice, and here we're going to take strong Kangen water again, the water that has the amazing cleaning powers, and watch what happens here. As you can see, almost instantly, the difference in the color. So as you can see here, what we've done is we've removed the pesticides from this rice. We've removed things like talc and all kinds of other things that actually is on the rice. And so not only is it going to be much cleaner, but again, it actually tastes much better, it cooks much faster, so the rices, the pastas are much fluffier and much better overall. Now, the last demonstration I'd like to take you through is something with pure sesame oil. And in chemistry class, we've been taught that oil and water don't mix, okay? And that's what we would all, think about. So let's just take some pure sesame oil here. We're going to pour it in this cup, and we're going to also pour it in the cup right next to it. And what we're going to do here is we're going to actually take some regular water, or let's just take some Dasani water here, and we're going to pour it over here. And as you will shortly see, as we would think, the oil and the water don't mix, and that the oil is going to actually surface to the top. At least that's what we were led to believe. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take the strong Kangen water, and I remember 9 months ago as I saw this demonstration, I about fell out of my chair. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to take that same oil, and as you'll see, from the moment this water hits that oil, look at what we've done here, you guys. We've just emulsified 100% pure sesame oil with water. Water that carries a pH of 11.5, and this is the water, again, that's got the amazing cleansing or detergent-like properties that has many, many uses and applications in your home. And keep in mind, in doing all of these different demos, what have we done? We've taken ordinary tap water, and with the touch of a button, we've made 5 different grades of water. And again, by far and away, the most important of the waters is the Kangen water that you're going to drink and hydrate your body with. But as you can see, we make other waters that have other uses and applications along with them. As you can see, this remarkable technology takes ordinary tap water and at the touch of a button makes 5 different grades of water. And I hope that you learned something from this demonstration. It's a very similar demonstration that I saw 9 months ago that has literally changed my life. So what you want to do now is get back to the person that shared this information with you and learn how you and your family can start benefiting from Kangen water today.